Hello, welcome to another English Sparkling with Tweedy video. Today some supermarket plonk from one of those corner shops in Knightsbridge, bit of a rough part of town. Harvey Nichols, I think it's called, made for them by Digby. As it happens, we've seen a couple of their wines recently, haven't we? Digby, and what does it say on the label here? English Sparkling Rosé Brut, 12% ABV. Disgorged March 2021. Not a lot more information than that, really. I think this was actually from Ocado, maybe, and it was on special offer. It seemed like a surprisingly good deal. If I can remember the price, I'll put that on screen. May just be a short run thing. They just had some bin ends they were trying to get rid of, perhaps. That is the state of that cork, natural cork. It's not so long ago that I had some Digby, they call it Leander Pink, don't they? Their own brand of rosé that they don't call a rosé. So it would be interesting to compare this. I don't know if they've done something different in the winemaking for this one that is sold initially through Harvey Nichols, and then I think it was somehow ended up through, I think, was it Ocado? I can't remember now. I suppose a salmony pink sort of colour, a little bit orangey pink. Nice, soft, I think slightly autolytic character on the nose to begin with. Getting something sort of biscuity, slightly cakey. And there is definitely some fruit character. This is all prior to giving it a first swirl. I'm trying to think what that fruit character is. Maybe red berry fruit. I think veering more towards the strawberry. And possibly when it's all dainty and delicate like this, I end up saying wild strawberry. I think strawberry, a little bit more to it than that though. Something a bit more, a bit deeper, a bit more substantial behind the strawberry that I can't quite put my finger on. But that is nice. It's quite pure and quite fruity, and I recall some of these other Digby wines ended up with some variant of struck match, either the match striking paper or the struck matches themselves, that slightly sort of sulphury note. And I'm really happy to report that is not present here. Let's give that a bit of a swirl, see what that does to the fruit. Bit livelier as a result, a little bit of mousse came back. Hints of something sort of citrusy there, brighter, fresher strawberry sort of aroma. Nice. So there was a little bit of autolytic character first, and then it went into fruit. But that's all actually quite pleasant on the nose, and I'm very happy to report no sign of that matchbox or any of its contents or components. Good, I like that. Like that on the palate as well. There is a bit of zing. This presumably would have been a wine made under Dermot Segru. It goes back far enough. It was only disgorged in 2021. I'm pretty sure Dermot Segru would have been at the helm at Whiston at that time. I think the deal with Digby is, although some of the winemaking was done by Dermot Segru at Whiston under contract from Digby, Digby's CEO, whose name I forget, perhaps I'll put that on screen, did the blending. He actually chose the blend. So the sort of the technical part of the winemaking, I suppose we could say, was done under contract, but then their CEO obviously knows a thing or two about wine. You'd hope you wouldn't be a CEO of a wine company without that. And I believe chooses the individual wines to use in the final blend, which is a long-winded way of saying, yes, it has a bit of that trademark Dermot Segru zing, but it's not huge, and it's not overwhelming, it doesn't set your teeth on edge. And beyond that, actually some mineral notes there, some quite pleasant mineral notes, but then a very nice fruity follow-on from there. I believe the first thing that's coming to mind, again, on the palate, is strawberry. And a nice version of strawberry as well. Sometimes that can be a bit fleeting and inconsequential, but it has a kind of fullness to it that I really like here. Nice finish to that. Still fruity, quite mouth-watering, and really no rough edges. I actually think I prefer that to the own brand Digby Leander Pink, which was mostly nice, but did have a couple of slightly weird edges to my taste that I wasn't really getting on with. And this may have just, I don't know, reflected a different period of time in their evolution as a wine producer. They decided to make some stylistic difference for these ones that they sold on to Harvey Nichols. It's good. I like that. Possibly getting slight hints of, I don't know, blackcurrant now. Something a little bit more intense than just the strawberry there. A little bit of cassis, something like that. Yeah, good stuff. I think my dinner is ready. I've got a lasagna in the oven. I think that'll work as a pairing. I mean, there's that old saying that champagne goes with everything, so I've always assumed that applies to English sparkling, and a more Pinot-led English sparkling seems like a reasonable pairing for lasagna, maybe. So I'm going to stop babbling now, but yes, that has been a success. I don't know if that's something that is ever going to be possible to buy again, but well done, Digby. Well done, Harvey Nichols. Grubby corner shop in Knightsbridge, rough part of town, for choosing that. Cheers.